The wave itself is by far the shallowest wave I've ever surfed. Like the reef is just staring at you. And sometimes like when the water's so clear, like the reef appears like it is closer, but out there it's really shallow. But it was beautiful. It was like incredible, just coral heads everywhere glowing underwater and fish. And it's just amazing, really.
The reef's alive, so it's super sharp, but then there on the shore is like all this dead coral. But it's wild, like you cannot walk around without shoes on because it's so sharp.
Hey, you got my flip-flops?
Then you get out in the lineup and the wave is so close to the reef. Like it doesn't even translate in the footage, but when you're out there and when you're watching someone take off, I mean, they're feet from like dry reef. I would equate it to at home what I call a shore break wave, where it's like right on the sand, but there it's okay. You can wash up on the sand. Here, you just get scraped up and bleed. And so.
Water is so crystal clear, it's amazing. I didn't even know it got this clear. It's amazing, especially in the surf, but it can get a little scary when you're doing a turn and you're looking down at the reef and you can just see everything in front of you, but it's still amazing. It's beautiful.
I don't know, it's just an added element of like, it all can't be like perfect. So it's gotta be shallow and in your face. So that was like the one thing keeping us back on Earth. This trip came to be, there's talks for months leading up about a project where we would be meeting up with Matt and we were gonna go on some surf missions, and there's undisclosed locations that are off the beaten path, and the options are very swell sensitive and wind sensitive, and I don't know, kind of like a miracle to even line up. So just kind of been on call, and finally everything came together where forecast kind of lined up perfect. So we pulled trigger and scored.
Well, when I got the call about the trip, I get a phone call asking if I'm down to go somewhere, and I wasn't told where, but I said yes. So I got the phone call 3 days before departure. And then the next morning I got the phone call that I wasn't coming because the flights were full. And then that evening, I got a call that there might be a way to weasel me through a longer route to get there. And I didn't find out until 12 hours before the flight that I could make it. And then like landing and finding out that I wasn't actually even gonna get on the next flight until hours after everyone else.
I don't know, it's such a last minute trip with swells that we ran out of room on the plane and weight, and I don't know, Barley somehow picked the short straw, but he got kind of screwed.
And so I basically was getting here a whole day later than everyone, and I found that out when I was like halfway here.
The boat driver's on his way to pick me up. He should be here in 2 to 2.5 hours, and then we got 2.5 to 3 hour boat ride. I am ready to meet up with the crew though and go surf.
It was so hectic, but I was just like, you know what, like it either works out and I make it, or this is just a crazy story. And then I get denied. And ended up rolling in on the boat, hopped off straight into like epic waves, and it was all worth it. We're making it.
He is about as core or as like surf culture as it gets, and he's just dedicated his life to finding like perfect waves, and like his outgoing attitude towards everything and like his love for surfing has just made me realize that like how amazing our sport really is.
The difference is that like he dedicates his life to like getting to them. I just like to kind of dream about them, and so for me I think about it, and for him he just does it, and that's pretty rad.
Oh, look at that thing! Look at this one!